Okay, well, welcome. Garrett, this class is dedicated to you, so thank you for coming today. I know you've been waiting for too long for this class, so I'm happy to do this today. Again, if we don't finish this today, which is perfectly fine, if we don't, I have next Monday reserved for this, to do kind of part 2. If it happens that we finish, that's fine. We can do a different level, okay, next Monday then. So that will be today and then next Monday. And actually talk about other, yeah, Garrett?
Yes, fine. It's fine.
Okay, good. And then Wednesday, I think we have how to disagree with someone at work in a proper way, not like just get angry and everything. So that's on Wednesday, okay? For now, let me go ahead and start screen sharing with you. Here we go. Perfect. All right, and I can't see if you can see it. One moment. This is what I want. Perfect. Okay. So I'm not sure how we want to do this. Garrett, do you want to start maybe, and we'll just do one by one? You can each, switch off by doing a question, and we can talk about it. Okay?
Okay. Great.
Great. So if you want to read and then answer, okay? And then we'll see if Ken is if Ken agrees or disagrees.
Right. After blank the door, switch the machine on. So, can I reply?
You can reply.
After closing the door, switch the machine on.
Okay, so closing is correct. And why did you choose closing?
Basically, I'm used to hearing that word that with after and a verb with ing. So this is why I choose.
Exactly. That's a perfect response. Again, with the perfect answer. So after closing, the letter A is perfect. Ken, do you have any questions or comments?
Yes, I think in English phrase mark, yeah, closing. So it's different from my language. So I'm a bit confused, but I got it now.
Okay, good. Yep, this is just the structure more than anything, because in Spanish, for example, we would have used the infinitive. Not that that matters to non-Spanish speakers, but that's one of the difficult things in translating from Spanish to English is people want to translate literally, and that's perfectly fine and normal. Sometimes you can, and other times you can't. So here, it's just because after is a preposition, and after a preposition, we have a verb with ing. Okay? So that's wonderful. Now for Ken, we'll go down to question number 2. Okay? Oops. Okay. And so if you want to go ahead and read and then answer, please.
Okay. When blank up this morning, did you get up this morning? B.
When did you get up this morning? Perfect. And why did you choose that one?
Because other option cannot work. So did you maybe put the verb not and and get is it's grammatically wrong. So only the B is grammatically right?
Mm-hmm. When have you got up? Actually, when have you got up? Okay, so this is a little bit of a tricky question here. The first letter A is impossible. When did get I can't even say it this morning, is impossible for the situation because you don't do up. They're talking about waking up or getting up physically, okay? So that's A is impossible. Did you get is perfect because this is the past simple because you got up in one specific moment this morning, okay? However, when have you got up this morning could potentially be correct because in British English, I believe, got is the past participle of the verb to get. However, in American English, we would use gotten, G-O-T-T-E-N.
Right.
When have you gotten up this morning? Now, that is technically acceptable because maybe it's still in the morning and it's a recent action that happened.
Okay.
Okay? Does that make sense? Do you see why that could potentially be okay?
No, I know. Yes.
Okay,
Gotten.
good. And then the last one is incorrect because if we have the verb to be, in this case are, it's conjugated for are, then we have to have an ing unless it's a passive, and we wouldn't use a passive tense when you're talking about getting up. So
Right.
that is explained. Any questions?
I have a question. Jessie,
Perfect.
which one is the best option for this question?
As an American, I am going to say letter B. Now, as if you want to go more towards the British English, when have you got up this morning? And I'm actually going to look up very quickly the original one from Thomas, because it says next week, Friday, May, April. Thomas. Sorry, here we go. I need about 30 seconds. Oh, this is just the beginner. Oh, that's not what I want. No. Oh, this is taking longer than I wanted. So, that can't be it. All right, well, why don't we I just had this yesterday. This is terrible. Saturday. The English test. It has to be here. But I'm only seeing. Okay, sorry, so this is my fault. This is me not being tech savvy. Okay, and this is the beginner's one, so that's not what I want. And that's the advanced one, and here this one has to be the intermediate. So, when did you get is the correct answer here, okay? And so again, that's the past simple.
Because of this, no, because of this morning, I thought that there's given a time action. So this is why when did you get up is most probable answer.
Well, you get up physically in one moment. It might take you like 10 minutes to actually wake up, but you get up in one moment. You know, when you put your feet on the floor. So it's a very specific moment. Like I said, have you got potentially could work, depending on if you're using British or American English. But did you get is the best here? Okay, so that is solved. Good. Okay, so question number 3. And as you know, my computer's American, so it says the program is spelled incorrectly. So, okay, well, Garrett, it's your turn again. So why don't you go ahead and read the question for us?
Okay, if you click here, the program blank, and the option is B, opens. The program opens.
Okay. And Ken, do you agree or disagree?
Yes, I agree. Open this sounds natural.
It sounds natural. Okay, perfect. Do we know what kind of grammar this is?
Present tense, simple present.
Okay.
Also, it's conditional.
Yes.
You click here. Yes.
Zero conditional, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, and when do we use a zero conditional?
Most obvious things?
Most obvious, okay. Some facts, some true information, okay. If it rains and you don't have an umbrella, you get wet, for example, same thing. Okay, so these are facts, true information. I like the obvious things. Ken, anything to add here?
Yeah, I think so, yes. It's
okay, good.
Almost sure, that's why, yes.
I'm sorry, the last part?
It's almost sure, that's why we use zero conditional.
Exactly. I mean, will open could work, but here we have an S, and with the S, we can't do that. That's just terrible. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
The program
this is why it was pretty easier.
Well, good. You'll have some easier, some more difficult ones. And open can't work because the program is third person singular, and opened in the past tense doesn't work either. So that's finished. All right, question number 4 goes to Ken.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm late. What time blank you blank? What time did you get here? Have you got here? Did you get here? I think have you got here and did you get here?
Okay, so this is very similar to that other question. You know where have got could be because it's a recent action. Maybe it's correct. And the other one is a past simple, which works as well. Garrett, do you have any idea which would be the correct one?
For me, I think it's D. Did get her.
Okay, and do you have a reason why?
Because it's simple. If someone is saying sorry, I'm late, so I would say that what time did you get here? What time have you got here? I don't usually use, and for me, it doesn't make any sense for me because I'm not used to it. That is why this is my simple and innocent explanation.
And that's perfectly good too. So, did you get here? D is the correct answer because again, it's something that you arrive in one specific moment. All right. So
Right.
that's a past simple. Perfect. I think that's fine. So, question number 5 is for Garrett, please.
Okay. It dash a lot. It blank a lot this month. So oh my god. Okay. It it has rained a lot this month.
So, letter C.
Yes, letter C. I think so. I'm not sure, but I think.
All right. Ken, can you help us out here?
Also, C and it rained a lot this month makes sense to me. C, D.
Okay. All right. So the first one is totally incorrect. We cannot have did with another past. That's ugly. We just don't like that one. Okay. Had rained is not possible in this case because had rained is the past perfect in which we use maybe last month it had rained a lot or it rained a lot, depending on if you want to talk about the duration of the month or in general it rained. Okay. Now we come to C and D. It rained. Well, no, it has. Sorry, it has rained a lot this month, or it rained a lot this month. We're going to say the correct answer is C, because has rained talks about duration. We are still in this month that they're talking about. So maybe it's towards the end of the month, but it's not quite the next month yet. Does that make sense?
Yeah, same thing I thought.
Exactly. Good. It rained a lot this month. I think people would say this, but it's not technically correct. Okay? So that's the other thing. And I'm sure people will say, it rained a lot this month, hasn't it? It's like, it has rained a lot. So, okay.
Okay.
Questions,
Right.
comments? No,
Ken,
nothing?
do you have any question?
No, thank you very much.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, on to question 6, a long one here. Ken, this is for you, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Europeans need an ID card or passport to go to the UK, but they don't have a visa. But they don't have to have a visa. I think don't have to sounds fine to me.
Okay, Garrett, any?
Must,
I think B is correct.
Okay, Ken, did you want to say something else?
mustn't have. It's strange, but I think yeah, B is the right. Yeah. Don't
Okay,
have to.
good. And I'm going to agree with both of you. Haven't to, but they haven't to have a visa just doesn't work. Have to, they don't have to have. Haven't to sounds very strange to me. I think it's okay technically in British English, but to me it doesn't sound right. Again, that has to do with actually haven't got to have. So we're missing the got because in England, in the UK they use have got, when I use don't have, well, haven't got. So that's part of it. Don't have to is the correct one. Mustn't. Mustn't is like obligatory, and that here doesn't really make sense. And then mustn't to is impossible because mustn't is a modal verb and we can't use to after it. Questions with this?
No, it's clear.
Okay. Good. So get ready, Garrett. This number 7 is for you. There we go. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. It's 8 o'clock. John said to meet him here at 8, but he always arrives. It's simple. Number A, late.
Good. Letter is perfect. Late. He arrives late. He always arrives too late. Doesn't really work here. Too late is more for specific situations. Here we're talking about always. Okay. But he arrives lately. Lately we can't use because that means recently, and that just, it doesn't make sense. And at last is like, you know, in the end. So at last I was able to find a parking spot near my house, for example. Okay. So the other ones just don't work. Ken, do you have any questions or comments about this?
Yes, arrives late sounds fine to me. So maybe too late is a very specific situation, not always.
Exactly. I mean, you can look at a situation and think, you know, it's, let's say 11. Oh, it's too late to start working on my presentation, for example. Okay. So it's too late. So it's specific. Okay. All right, here. So Ken, there you go.
There are no more scenes in the factory. These teddy bears belong by hand. These teddy bears are made by hand.
Okay. Why is it are made?
Because it should be passive. Somebody made this teddy bear. Because so passive makes sense.
Good. Garrett, do you have any comments or questions?
I think I go with the same. Number C, are made, and same reason, like it is passive. So this is why are made.
Exactly. That's it. And with the passive, we need the verb to be, and it's perfect. So I don't think there's really much explanation there. So perfect. Very good. Garrett, it is your turn.
Can I have a round question about this?
Definitely.
Sorry.
That's okay.
By hand is the kind of how about
handmade?
When I say by hands, doesn't make sense.
I think handmade. They are handmade. This is why.
Exactly.
So by
handmade.
Yes.
I know the meaning, but if I say sorry, by hands, makes sense? No.
With plural?
Hands,
no.
Plural.
No, we don't say that again.
By hand.
By hand. Good. Good question. All right, now I think I can continue. No problem. All right, so Garrett, whenever you're ready.
Okay. In my last job, I started work at 6 a.m. maybe at 6.
Yeah.
I blank get up at 5 every day. I last job, so I had to.
Okay, that sounds
yes.
fine. And Ken, any suggestions or questions? You think it's correct?
I have to make sense. Also, I should get up? I'm not sure, but have to is the best option, I think.
Yeah, had to is the perfect option. Should is more in the, I don't want to say present, but it's used more commonly in the present because it's a suggestion. So you're not really suggesting that, you know, this is a past situation.
Right.
So now we can't give any advice. So should we can't use. Must can't be used because must in the past we used had to. And to use had and had get up doesn't make sense because get is in the what could you say, the first column or the present, okay? And had get doesn't make sense. It would have to be had got or had gotten, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. And yes, Garrett's here reading this. You can say at 6 o'clock, at 6 a.m., 6 in the morning. So lots of different ways that we can say this, okay?
Okay, thanks. Great. Okay, got it.
Good. All right, now to number 10, Mr. Ken.
Okay, I prefer shopping on weekdays because there are blank people than at the weekend. Weekdays there are few people is I forgot countable and non-countable. Fewer people. I think fewer people, right?
Good. That sounds good. Garrett, what do you have to say about this question?
Yeah, that's right. Fewer people.
Okay. So yes, I'm going to agree with both of you. Fewer is perfect. We can't use lesser. There are lesser people. There are less people. There are less people would be okay. Okay. Smaller people, that doesn't work because that has to do with people's size. So if they're tall or short, or maybe they're referring to children. And then least doesn't make sense here. Okay, that's a superlative. We're comparing in this one. So perfect. No questions, right? This is easy.
Becky, I have a question. If
Yeah?
you say that less is okay, but lesser is not okay, so I am confused. If less is okay, then why can't lesser?
Less is okay. Lesser not. No. Because there are
Can you
less
give me
people.
lesser is why not lesser? Any explanation?
Because in the comparative form, if you're talking about, we use more people than, for example, for the comparative for more. If you want it to be the opposite, saying there are less people, lesser doesn't work here. Lesser, I don't even know if it's technically a word. Lesser. I don't think it's a word.
Oh.
That's why.
I don't know. And fewer, isn't it comparable? Fewer is it is also comparable?
Absolutely has the ER. There are fewer people. There are few people at the weekend, for example, you could also say. Okay, yes. So there are few people, so there aren't many people.
Yes. Okay. So aren't we comparing here if we are using fewer?
Yes. Yep.
So
these also have than.
So lesser is used. You are saying that lesser is not a word. We don't use lesser at all.
Well, I'm looking at something, and it says that lesser is a word. We kind of use it more in an expression, the lesser of the two evils, for example. Let me write this in here. For example, it's the lesser of the two evils, okay? This actually was basically said by my mom in the presidential election last year. She chose the lesser of the two evils.
Oh,
so she didn't choose the president today. So you can, but it's really not used, especially in comparative. I mean, we're comparing, of course, here because it's talking about two things.
Okay.
But as far as this situation, no, we can say lesser known. It's not as, famous.
I thought that
yes?
few or fewer is used for people mostly than lesser or less.
Right. Can fewer, less be used for countable? Fewer is used with countable nouns. Less just means that there's not as many. Okay, there are less people, and that can be used for countable, and then There is less water in here than before. So yes, you can use less for countable and non-countable nouns.
Oh, I see. Wow. Okay, thank you
Yeah,
very much.
that's why this question is confusing. And least is in the superlative form, like I said before. So that would just, you have to throw out. That one just doesn't make sense.
That's the reason why Thomas invented the word lesser, probably.
Yeah, because like I said, it does exist in very few situations. Like I have here lesser known, for example. I don't know something about music. This album is the lesser known album of this famous person,
Oh, wow.
for
I
example.
see. Also, okay, wow. I don't know that.
And I have also heard that lesser known facts of people.
Lesser, yeah, we don't use for people. Lesser, no, you can't.
Lesser known facts. I have read the article.
Yeah.
I have read the article, and it was written that lesser known facts of any celebrity. So this is why I just asked you. Lesser known facts if we are using for people, but we can directly use our lesser people that at the weekend.
I'm not sure I understood that, Garrett. Lesser you cannot use with people. Lesser known, yes, in certain situations, not necessarily for people. She is the lesser known family member of the Jacksons, for example, or lesser known. She's the least known. You can also use least known as in the superlative form. But in this, the question gears, lesser cannot be used.
Oh, okay. I think less is also mostly used with things, I think.
Well, that doesn't matter. In this case, less, because there are less people than at the weekend, absolutely you can use. But lesser, no.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Now, do you have any other questions? This is a relatively confusing one. Nothing else? No, Ken? No? Okay. Well, then let me go down here. We'll go to the next one for Garrett. There you go.
Yes, we have your wallet. It blank handed in by a member of the public. It has been handed in by a member of the public. Number D has been.
D, letter D, okay. Ken, what do you think? Do you agree or disagree?
Yes, agree. Has been.
You disagree?
No, agree. Because it should be.
You agree.
Yeah. Agree.
Okay, good. And I'm going to agree with both of you. Okay, so that's perfect. All right, so no questions here. This is easy. What kind of tense is this?
It is passive voice, present perfect passive, and when you report something, so basically it is used for that.
That was a beautiful explanation. Thank you, Garrett. That was perfect. I couldn't have done it better myself. So with that, Ken, do you have any questions before we continue?
No, thank you.
Okay. Question number 12, Ken.
Okay, I blank a bath when you rang. I was having a bath when you rang.
Okay, why did you choose that one?
Because when you rang and present past perfect, the usage of perfect is like that, like this.
Past perfect.
Yes. No. Past continuous. Sorry.
Okay, good. All right. So what does this situation mean? I mean, there's a little bit more that I'm looking for the explanation.
So this when this person having a bath, the bell, maybe telephone bell rang.
Good. So there's two actions here, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Garrett, do you think you can explain this differently?
I try. Number B is right because there are two clauses. With when clause, it is obviously mostly it is used one with ing form because something is in action when something had happened. So this is why I was having a bath when you rang. So it doesn't make any sense if I say I had a bath when you ring. Same thing happened at the same time, but one thing I was doing, so I used in action form. So I was having at that time when it happened.
Okay, good. All right. So basically, yes, there are two actions here. I agree with both of you. The only thing I'm going to add is that was having is the longer action of the two. Okay,
Yeah, right.
so while I was having a bath, you rang. Obviously, when someone calls you, it's a lot shorter action than having a bath. Okay, so that's why we're using I was having a bath when you rang. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay, now if we change the sentence a little and we say, I had a bath, then you rang. All right, so if I change this one letter, I had a bath, then you rang. What's happening here? Then we're using letter A.
After taking a bath, you rang.
No, I've already changed this, just one letter, instead of when to then. Okay, so I had a bath, then you rang.
So what are you asking that? Is it right or wrong?
No, this is a correct sentence. I'm asking why it's a correct sentence.
So I'm fine. For me, it's what I understand is I did something, then something happened. So this is why
Okay.
I had been taking a bath. Then you rang. After having a bath, then you rang.
Okay, that's correct. It's a sequence of events.
Right.
Okay, so now we're not talking about the duration of taking a bath or having a bath. We're saying, oh, I had a bath, and then, 5 minutes later, you rang. So it was great timing, for example. Okay?
Right.
Ken, do you have any questions or anything to add?
Maybe having a bath is a British expression. In America, would say taking a bath.
Right, I would say take a bath.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
No problem. All right, so let me put this back as it was. With just one simple thing, one change of the letter, it changes completely. Okay, so good. On to the next one. Oops. The next one here. Garrett?
Where's Jody? She said where's Jody? She said she would come.
Okay, why did you choose that?
Because if I say she said she comes, so with sad, why would I use comes first form or present form with past? Or will coming doesn't make any sense. Maybe come, it also I've never heard, or it is not correct. Would come goes with that sentence. She said, because she says, not she said, she would come. So that is like reported speech.
Exactly, that was my next question. So this is reported speech, okay? So what would be the direct speech?
So direct speech. So I would say, I say I'm coming.
Okay. Actually, not exactly. If we want to be specifically correct, we would have, Jody says, I don't know, in the present, I suppose. I will come. Okay? We're using will come because would is in the past tense of will, and come because it's in this form of modal verb plus base verb. Okay? Now,
Yes,
if
right.
she
Would come will
said,
convert into will come. Right.
yes. Okay, so this is the active. This is the direct speech and then indirect. So that's perfect. Ken, any questions or comments?
No, thank you very much.
Garrett's did a very good job of explaining why the other ones won't work. So that was perfect. And I could say maybe instead of maybe, she said she might come, but maybe
Right.
no. Okay. So that was a close one. All right, so I'll go ahead and delete this again. Okay, and we'll go to number 14. Ken, it's you. Your turn. This will be a good one.
Okay. It was blank good food. I went to the buffet twice. Eh, it was so good, so much good, such good, so good food. Such a good food makes sense, but just such made I don't know such good food, such so I
Do you give up?
so good food, yeah, such good food, probably I'm sure, or
You
such
think
a good food,
such,
yeah, good food makes sense.
but you think it's such a.
Yeah.
That's not an option.
So good food. I think so good food in this case. Such good food. So is better to me in this sentence.
Okay. All right, Garrett, let's go to you. What do you have for us? What do you think?
For me, it is C, but I am also confused between B and C.
Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you that the correct answer is C, such. It was such good food, I went to the buffet twice. Okay? Now,
Okay,
Ken, I'm
and
sorry, but
please explain.
yes, this is a bit confusing. Now, good food in this case is uncountable. Okay? We can say different types of food, but food in general is uncountable. Okay?
Okay,
So,
but good food. So don't we use a good thing?
no. We don't always have to. It depends. Because if it's a countable noun, sure. It was such a good cake, for example.
Oh, I see. And so, why don't we use so? Why can't?
Because so we use in different cases. I'm going to say with an adjective, but this is an adjective and then a noun. You can use it in some cases. I don't know exactly. This one I'm not really sure how to explain perfectly.
Oh, I think if there wasn't given food and the sentence was use it, right?
Well, I didn't hear everything you said, but for example, I could say it was so good, knowing that we're talking about the food. So, oh, how was the food? Oh, it was so good. I went to the buffet twice. In that case, yes, because we're just using the adjective.
Right.
All right. So, I mean, this is kind of a good question. Maybe I might have to come back next class and help with this one because it's quite confusing.
Please note down.
I know. So we use it with non-uncountable. All right, well, we'll talk about this next time. I'll have to do some research. Let me write this down on a cute little cat post-it that I have. So and such. So such, number 14. Okay. So again, we will talk about this and perfect. That's on my computer now. I promise. All right, good. So with that, why don't we go to the next one here? And Ken. No, Garrett. I'm sorry, Garrett, it's your turn.
Okay. What blank you do if you blank £1,000,000? Okay. What would you do if you had £1,000,000? I think. A.
All right. Ken, do you agree or disagree?
Yes, I agree. Would and had.
Why?
Because it's maybe second conditional.
Okay.
Yeah.
Garrett, do you agree that it's a second conditional?
No, it's not second conditional. I think it's first conditional, maybe. First conditional, yes.
I'm going to agree with Ken on that one and say it's a second conditional. So, Ken, can you explain to us why it's a second conditional?
Because this form would and past tense.
Mm-hmm.
That's a kind of form of second conditional. Or yeah.
And in what cases do we use the second conditional?
Kind of hypothetical situation. If you
There
had
you
a
go.
million pounds, yeah, hypothetical.
And what's a hypothetical situation for those that don't know?
We don't know, you mean?
You don't know what a hypothetical situation is?
Hypothetical situation is non how can I say like difficult to explain hypothetical kind of a bit unpredictable situation. Or,
Okay, that's good, yeah.
That, yes.
Yes, okay, so hypothetical is a situation in which it might or might not happen.
Yes, right.
Does that help?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Now, Garrett, do you understand why it's a second conditional?
Yes, I didn't pay attention because conditional goes with will. Yes, it's right, absolutely.
Okay, good. Now that happens. Sometimes we find things that are disguised as other things. So would and had are the correct answers. Okay, and would have. What would you do if you would have £1,000,000? I don't hate B. However, this then would be a mixed conditional. Now would have is a little bit if you would have. Would have to use in a past action. So someone would have given you £1,000,000, what would you do? So it's a mixed conditional. We can do that, but it doesn't sound super perfect in this case.
Okay.
Garrett, did you have anything to say about that one?
No, basically, it is said that would and will mostly don't go with if.
Mm-hmm.
If
okay.
So
well, it can.
It can. Okay.
It's possible. Because what does a modal verb do? It gives the possibility of something happening with the verb. So if you say, what would you eat? Or what will you eat? Will is sure, it's 100% sure. What would you eat is, well, maybe you are going to eat, maybe you aren't. What can you eat? Is it a possibility of, are you allergic or not allergic? So it depends on the modal verb, okay?
Okay, and people say that if I will is wrong, is it?
To me, yes. To me, yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. If I would have or I will have is wrong, then why it is wrong?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
If I would have or if I will have is wrong grammatically, but sometimes people use it. So why is it wrong? Why is it called wrong?
Because will is, it depends on the situation, honestly. If I will have $1 million by this time next year, you can say that because you're talking about a future situation. Now, would be best only because it's a hypothetical situation. It's not sure. Well, it's not 100% sure. Now, people will probably say will because it's natives and we don't learn grammar. Okay, I've said it many times and I think that's just part of it. Okay?
Okay.
So, yeah. Sorry that there's no like specific, but in that case, would. And then in this next one in C, would had is impossible. We need to have the base verb, and had is in the past tense, and that's impossible. And will has, we can't use has here because it's you, and you we use you have with the VE at the end, not the S. Okay?
Okay.
So the other ones are just not possible. Are there any other questions or doubts about this?
No.
Okay, Ken?
No.
Okay. Well, what I think we'll do is we'll stop here for today, and we'll continue with the other questions. There's only 20, so there's not a lot left to do, but I definitely think the so and such is something that will take a while as well. So we'll kind of do the so and such. We'll look at question 14 again. Okay. And then we will start the other questions as well. And also bring questions to me about these. Ask me if this is an okay conditional. Does this make sense? Things like that, okay? Because
So
for the yeah.
Oh no, you said in next class. So next class it has another topic. So this class will be scheduled.
This is for next Monday.
Great.
Yes.
Great.
Thomas has put all the classes in for this month, except for the last day, I think the 31st, which I didn't plan yet. So, no. Ken, thanks for confirming that. So, yes, this class is in the next week, Monday. So same time as today. All right, just continuing this.
And Becky, what about Thomas's new website link? You have you gave me that link, but now I think it's not working.
Well, I know it's under construction. I know he's continuing to work on it. They're programming things and etc. So there's a lot of work being done on it right now. So maybe that's why it's not working. He will definitely use. He talks about all the time about this website. He loves it. He's very excited about it. So it will continue and it will be the future. Okay. But for now, I know that he's doing a lot of work with it.
Oh, maybe I forgot the exact address. Was it englishbox.com or something else?
Yeah, englishbox.de I think is what they use in Germany. But Englishbox should be it. Mm-hmm.
It's not opening. It's not working.
I don't think I have it. I know I have it somewhere, but if I find it, I'll send you an email, okay?
Fine. Okay.
Perfect. Good. Well, thanks for participating. It was really great to have both of you here. I like the comparisons. Do you think that's right? What do you think? So fantastic. Lots of grammar, and of course, everyone knows I love grammar, so wonderful. Well, everyone have a great day. Hopefully we'll see you on Wednesday about how to disagree with someone properly in the workplace. Okay?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, you're very welcome. Have a great day.